Hello and welcome to Amigos IAS. I am Adnan. Recently, we have seen some unprecedented scenes of a very major city in the world seeing flooding because of torrential rainfall. We're talking about Dubai, which is in UAE, and the scenes were unprecedented because generally we don't expect these kind of flooding incidents in the arid regions of the world, in the desert regions of the world. But why we are seeing this extreme flooding phenomena across the world? How much can we attribute this to the cloud seeding which happened recently in UAE, and can we attribute this to climate change or not? So basically, why this particular flooding happened and why this precipitation happened at such a large scale, let's try to understand these issues in today's video. So this will be helpful for geography and environment for the general studies guys. So let's jump into this particular issue right away, and let's start with this. The scenes, of course, I can show a lot of pictures, but again, I hope you understand the drift here, what is going on. So these kind of scenes were quite common. Dubai does not have a great, infrastructure to withstand this kind of flooding. Of course, no city in the world can get this kind of, rainfall, more than 100 mm rainfall in a span of, just one day. It's very difficult, guys. Okay, especially in countries where generally in 1 year what rainfall has to happen, 1.5 years it will happen in one day. So no city in the world can withstand that, guys. So that is why we have seen these particular scenes in Dubai. So let's see the basic facts first. UAE had the heaviest rain after a severe thunderstorm on April. Okay, how extreme was this rainfall? So Dubai is on the coast of the UAE, as you can see on these pictures, guys, here. So on the coast of this UAE, you can find Dubai here, guys. I'll try to change the color here. So here you can see Dubai is there here, guys. Fine, this aspect. And on the coastal areas, because we have to understand the importance of these waters here, the seas here. And as you can see here, it is usually very dry. It receives less than 100 millimeters, that means 3.9 inches of rainfall per year on an average. And occasionally there are some downpours. Okay, extreme downpours occasionally are there, usually in the winters, guys. In the city of Al Ain, just over 100 kilometers from Dubai, about 256 millimeter, means almost 10 inches of rainfall in 24 hours. So 256 millimeters, 10 inches in Al Ain from Dubai. Okay, it is nearby Dubai. So these words sometimes take the it makes it difficult to pronounce sometimes, guys. Okay, Al Ain, that's the meaning, that's a word here. Okay, Al Ain, Fujairah, there are so many cities in UAE, guys. Okay, and UAE has 7 city states, as we understand. So here you see the volume of rainfall which is falling in just 24 hours. Which city in the world can withstand 10 inches of rainfall in 24 hours? It's not possible, guys. We will understand the reasons also here. And in Dubai, generally they gave here 100 mm, but in some areas, okay, we had 142 mm rainfall, which is usually like 1.5 year of rainfall in 24 hours. That is the gravity of this particular precipitation here, guys. 1.5 year of rainfall falling in 24 hours is not a joke. As you can see, the map is very important for us. So I'll just tell you how this particular storm has started, guys. So I think the geographical extent is important because here, as you can see, Oman is nearby. Okay, here Oman is there. And the storm actually started from the Arabian Peninsula and went towards Oman. And in Oman also there was a lot of flooding. More than 20 people unfortunately have died in Oman because of this extreme precipitation, guys. So what actually is the reason behind this heavy rains? Let's try to understand, and let's also try to see what other factors also are involved here. Firstly, the primary reason is because of the storm system. As we all understand, low pressure creates these situations for rainfall. This storm was passing through the Arabian Peninsula and moving across the Gulf of Oman, but again not much movement is there. Why? See here, cut-off low pressure weather system was created, which brought in warm, moist air and blocked other weather systems from coming through. That was the main cause. That means the main cause, what the meteorologists have found out, is that there was a storm. Already British meteorologists also have warned that there is going to be an extreme weather event in this region. Already warning was there. It's nothing like it just came out of the blue, guys. Fine. So what actually is this cut-off low pressure weather system? I will explain you in brief, guys. Okay, generally, as we understand, we have several jet streams which flow from west to east, okay, across the globe, okay, across the world. So when you see these jet streams, generally they are creating this huge fast moving wind system is there. What if something just breaks away from that? Okay, cutoff low. Cutoff low means what? What is the meaning of cutoff low pressure here? It is an area of extreme low pressure, very low pressure, which is not nearby those jet streams. If jet streams are there, they can take away this. But here, as you can see, I will just show you on the map here, guys. As you can see here, this is a jet stream which is flowing from the west to east direction here. And this low pressure, okay, the cutoff low is separated. It's cut off from this jet stream. It's cut off from the jet stream means it remains stagnant or stationary at one place. Again, here stationary does not mean it just doesn't move anywhere. This low pressure area which is created is almost like, we can take the example of like when a boat is there and the boat is on the sea, let's take for an example, and the boat has an anchor which is dropped onto the sea bed, and that anchor will support this particular boat from drifting away. The boat is not like it's not moving at all. The anchor is of course on the bottom, but because of the anchors the chain is there, right? So the boat may rock back and forth, but it is still almost kind of stationary, but it has little bit movement. So low pressure, cutoff low also is like that low pressure, which is more or less stagnant, which stays there for a long span of time. You may ask then, what is the connection of this low cutoff low with the heavy rains? Here is the point. As low pressure area creates a condition for the air to rise up, okay, and what happens means the air which is rising up, which is the warm air, it carries moisture, and this moisture over a period of time will start building in that low pressure area. And that means because this low pressure is stagnant for a long span of time, in that long span of time, more moisture is collected, more evaporation happens from Dubai nearby the seas, lot of evaporation happened and it got collected in that low pressure area above this region. And because of this excessive amount of moisture collected in a short span of time, because of that, this extreme precipitation also happened. So I'll just come back more on this, just to hold on, guys. Okay, I hope you understood what's the meaning of cutoff low pressure. Okay, now what is the impact of cloud seeding? Because we have seen in news that UAE already is going for cloud seeding because they wanted to have some rainfall. Now, how much of this cloud seeding is responsible? Many of the people on social media are saying that cloud seeding is the main reason behind this particular extreme precipitation. No, we cannot have such kind of lazy analysis to attribute one single cause for any extreme weather event, guys. Even climate change also. It takes many months for us to decode that. But of course, we can understand that climate change may exacerbate this kind of precipitation. I'll come back to climate change aspect just in a while, but let us try to go for cloud seeding first. Cloud seeding involves what? Artificial rains. Cloud seeding, okay, manipulating existing clouds to help produce more rain. This can be done by using what? Aircraft to drop the salt particles, okay, small particles like silver iodide, okay, into clouds. Water vapor can then condense more easily and turn into rain. I'll just show a picture for this, okay. So here you can see, guys, what is the process for this cloud seeding or artificial rains. See the first segment here, guys. Clouds are injected with silver or potassium iodide, or sometimes dry ice, which is solid carbon dioxide, also is used. That they are salt. Okay, so these are injected into the water particles. Okay, see, through air or generators on ground. By air, usually they will prefer this, guys. Okay, and then you can see. Second, these salts will help those water droplets to collide. Okay, see here, they combine the water droplets in the clouds already which exists. And these water droplets will then combine together, and what happens? They will become heavier, okay, because snowflakes are formed and they will fall under their weight, and by the time they reach the ground, they are melted already, okay. So they are already reaching the melting point while they are falling itself, okay, when they are heavy, and that will cause rainfall. As simple as that, okay. You are using this salts, sodium, silver iodide or potassium iodide or dry ice. These act as catalysts and help the water to condense faster, because when the water droplets, when they condense only, we get this rainfall, as we all understand. That's the basic point. So that condensation is precipitated, or we can say it is exacerbated or aided by these salts. That is an artificial process. Now this was already being done in Dubai, but on the day before the storm, this was not done. So this may have impacted the particular, the rainfall little bit, but not overall. Why? Because let's understand the basic point here. This artificial rains are not creating some new clouds. There should already be some moisture, okay, in the atmosphere that is being what? Speeded up by this particular process. If there is no moisture, how can you create this particular clouds, guys? That is the main aspect here. So it is very lazy to say because of this only, okay, because of cloud seeding the rainfall happened. No, there already was a lot of moisture in the air because of climate change. Because of climate change, of course, that's not one reason. Of course, climate change here means because of warming, global warming here, lots and lots of evaporation, high rates of evaporation are happening. Nearby Dubai seas are there, lot of low pressure created already, lots and lots of water getting evaporated and collected, the moisture is there, and after that condensation happens and suddenly it all comes down, it dumps into one single place. That dumping happens in this way. As we have seen, that dumping creates the floods. That is what we are seeing across the world, guys. Nothing new here. Okay. So, what role did climate change play? As I told you, we cannot attribute one single weather event to climate change, but we understand IPCC reports are there, guys. Okay, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change already has warned in its several assessment reports, that is fifth or fourth assessment reports, they have talked about extreme weather events. Okay, they have talked about extreme weather events which are attributed to the climate change, the global warming which is causing all these things. Okay, so extreme weather events like floods, hurricanes or cyclones, okay, all these extreme precipitation, all this will happen. So pluvial flooding here means what? Pluvial flooding it has warned. Pluvial means because of rains flooding will happen. That is what is the warning given by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It's a UN agency, guys. Okay, so it is not possible to exactly quantify how much role climate change played. It requires full analysis, which will take some months, but this is consistent with how the climate is changing, how warmer air will hold more moisture. Okay, how much? 7% extra for every 1 degree Celsius. For every 1 degree Celsius warming, 7% more moisture is held by the warm air. And that moist air, what happens? Storms are more dangerous because an increasing in intensity of precipitation happens, duration, frequency, severity, frequency, all will increase, which can cause ultimate severe flooding, guys. So record-breaking intensity of rain is because it is consistent with warming climate. Okay, I'm reading a quote of a Professor Richard Allen, guys. He is saying because of extreme global warming, more moisture is available to fuel the storms and heavy rainfall events happen and flooding happens. So I hope you understood the cause and effect behind how these violent storms happen because of global warming, because of the annual increase in temperatures. Dubai already has seen, while the world has seen around roughly 1.1 degrees Celsius of global increase in temperature. Okay, Dubai already has seen 1.5 degrees Celsius, lot of urbanization is there, desert area is there. They already have this high average, global average, annual increase of temperature, which is causing these events. As we have seen in Paris Climate Deal, the targets are like we want to reduce the global average rise of temperatures to 2 degrees Celsius, and desirably by 1.5 degrees Celsius also we have this aim, but Dubai already reached that, and you can see how the impacts are going to happen. Now imagine what happens if we increase this 2 degrees, 2.5, 3 degrees where we are going on course now. Our climate targets are not enough to reduce this annual global rise of temperature. That is, see, for every 1 degree Celsius the impacts are very catastrophic. So these are lessons for us, guys, that we need to take actions which reduce this global warming. Okay, climate targets, we have to always have ambitious targets. Studies based in India's Thar Desert and Australia's desert regions have showed that climate change will lead to more rainfall in these areas. India also is vulnerable, guys. Fine. So with the average global temperature already at this point I told you 1.1 degrees Celsius since the industrial levels, industrial revolution levels, that much temperature has increased average. But for Dubai already 1.5 degrees Celsius for Dubai and UAE it has already increased, guys. And this is because of heat trapping greenhouse gases which come because of combustions, okay, fossil fuels and etc. Fine. So it is extremely difficult to attribute one single event, multiple factors like El Nino or La Nina, okay. All these factors are there, but we can understand one aspect here, guys. Okay, that is what I'll just conclude this particular aspect here. So what is happening here is, in conclusion, link this aspect with climate change. Like Libya has seen because of their geographical extent, because of this climate change, okay, we have seen this extreme flooding happening in Libya. They have infrastructure issues, they have issues because a dam had collapsed, and hydraulic, and also the geographical region also is vulnerable to this kind of disasters. And we already have the climate change. See all the major cities across the world, they are all facing this extreme flooding events. And we have to see all this in combination, and we need to understand that how this global warming can precipitate this kind of crisis more and more in the coming world, in the coming years, guys. So this you can use as an example in your answers to write that the world should come together and take some ambitious targets, not like the previous COP summits where they have not taken any ambitious targets to reduce the impact of climate change. Developed countries still shy away from taking more responsibilities to address this issue of climate change, and developing countries and the least developed countries will face more and more severe impacts because of these extreme weather events. So you can use all these as an example in your answer in your GS paper 3, guys. So I hope I addressed this issue, this topic, and if you have any questions, then please post in the comments. Keep watching Amigos IAS. Thank you.